All right, ladies and gents, I'm getting a couple questions on how to do these. So let me go through number 5, which we haven't done together. So we'll go through the whole thing and see what questions you have. So first thing, of course, is your axis. That's right. So negative b over 2a is your axis of symmetry. Right, and remember, if I mark these out, the negative 2 is my a, b is my 8, c is negative 9. So plug these in. So the opposite of b is negative 8. And 2a is going to be 2 times negative 2. All right, so once we do that, then you have negative 8 over negative 4, which gives you 2. So positive 2. And that is your AOS. All right, so that is AOS. So that's your axis of symmetry. So you do start out with that. And then remember, that is going to be the first portion of your vertex. So if I take this, now I'll use this space over here. Your vertex, is going to be 2 comma something. Right, that is my vertex. All right, so you've got that. And now the next thing you want to do is find out what this other number is. So it's going to be something. I'll come back and fill this in. But what you do is you take the original equation, which is y equals, I have to go back up and look, negative 2x squared. Well, that's kind of written a little slanty. Negative 2x squared plus 8x minus 9. And let me just fix that too, because that looks a little funny. It almost looks like a power there. So negative 2x squared plus 8x minus 9 is the original. So what we do is we then take these x values, and 2 is going to get plugged in to each of those x values. So I'll do this right below just so it looks kind of seamless. So negative 2 we start out with, which is right from the equation above. The x gets changed to, you know, I should do it this way. This 2 that's in here, I'll just put this in red, will be this 2 here. All right, so that's what's going in. For this x, you get that 2. All right, so I'll do the other ones. Let me see if I can color code this nicely. So then you get plus 8 times, again, that 2 is going in for the x, so that's a 2. It's going in for that x. Right, and then minus 9. So really that's what gets plugged in, and we have to simplify that to find out your y value of the vertex. We're trying to find this other number. So going on, if I keep going with this, negative 2 times 2, oh, I forgot a square, excuse me there. So we do the square first. So do this first. Right, to that piece, that's going to be a 4. Times negative 2 is negative 8. The middle is going to give us plus 16. And then we've got the minus 9. So we're still just simplifying this to work it out. So negative 8 and 16 is 8. 8 minus 9 is negative 1. And that's what's going to go in for our vertex. So that negative 1, I will erase this little question mark. And inside now is going to be that negative 1. Okay, so that's your vertex. So then, moving on, now we're at the table step. So let me put it over here. All right, just for room's sake. Table goes here. I need my x and y values up top. 2 columns, 6 rows. So x is here, y is here. And here's going to be our 5 rows. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 and 5. So notice my vertex, I'll put a little v outside here, is going to be right here in the middle. So 2, negative 1. So that's the first one. Now focus on this x column, this 2 that's right here. We're going to pick our other x values by going up by 1. So 3 and 4. And then the 2 we go down by 1. So 1 and 0. All right, so just pick those values. So those we just picked based on your vertex. Now we have to calculate what goes next. So for this value, we take our original equation. And again, if I look back over here, it's negative 2x squared plus 8x minus 9. And we plug this in with that 4. So here we go, negative 2x squared, which is 4 squared, plus 8x Again, that x gets replaced by a 4 and minus 9. So if I simplify that, we'll get this y value. Right, and if I do this, let's see. So this is 4 squared, which is 16 times negative 2, which is negative 32 here. We get, plus 32, makes it nice. They will cancel, and then you get minus 9. So really, these cancel. It is going to be negative 9. So that's, and I put it here just so it doesn't get covered up by the y, but minus 9. And the nice thing is the other side down here has to match. So this will be negative 9. If you set your table up this way, this always helps. And then I'll do this one. Let me just bring it down here a little bit. So this is going to be my value with 3. So do the same thing we did before with a 4, but instead put in a 3. All right, so this is negative 2 times 3 squared plus 8. That's a plus. Plus 8 times 3, and then minus 9. So when we simplify this, we'll get a value for this piece. So let's see, this is 9, the 3 squared is 9. Do that first for PEMDAS. 9 times negative 2 is negative 18. Remember, if these get you confused, put this whole line all on your calculator. But negative 18 for the first part, plus 24, and then minus 9. And this will all simplify. Negative 18 and 24 is 6, and 6 minus 9 gives us negative 3. Now, just like I didn't put it in here, but I probably should, that was negative 9 from before. Okay, so this new number, negative 3, goes right in here. Right, negative 3 and negative 3. These will always match. Again, the middle is negative 1. Notice that the negative 3's match, and the negative 9's will match around that. So good news is we have everything that we need to graph. Right, and I'll start with my axis and your vertex. So vertex typically I do first. Ready? So it's 2, negative 1, which is right here. Okay? And then I'll do the other points. I usually put the axis in last just because it's a line. But 2, negative 1 is in my table right in the middle. Let's do 3, negative 3. So 3, negative 3 here. Sorry, I have to go back and forth. Oh, I lost it. There we go. And you have 4, negative 9, which is right here. And the other side will mirror it. So 1, negative 3, 1, negative 3, and 0, negative 9. Oops, I see I made a bad point here. I did 4, negative 8. That one should be negative 9. And again, I caught myself just because these should be nice and even to make our parabola. So watch, if I do this, down through this point, there's my one side of the parabola. And this is the other side of the parabola. So it's looking good so far. It does fit on your graph, which all these should. I will mark my vertex, which is 2, negative 1. And I don't mind if you put this off to the side and draw an arrow like this. I'll either label it vertex or put V in there so I know where it is. And the last part is your axis of symmetry, which always goes right down the middle. Right, and that is going to be x equals, don't forget the x equals 2, which we had from before, which is actually right here. So you've got your vertex listed. Your axis, don't forget, please label it AOS. So vertex, axis, all your points, and your parabola. So that is done. All right, and this video should help out because this is everything top to bottom. And you can stop and replay this and see if you have any questions. I know these are pretty involved, but follow this video or the notes from class, and really it should be able to help you with the remainder of these. All right. Good luck with this, and again, follow those steps. You should be fine to graph any of these quadratics. All right, thanks, guys.